Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So today, before I start the Bhagavad Gita, I just want to give a kind of a general background and what we are getting into and what is expected and what do we get out of this entire sessions of 18 or 20 sessions that we are thinking of doing. So just a broad view. So to begin with, this entire Bhagavad Gita, I just want to start with my journey. When I was just 20, 21 years old, I went to Melbourne, Australia to study masters after my engineering. So I was on top of the world, achieved what I wanted to. Just like each one of us when we first came to America, how we felt, the same feeling. So happily walking on the downtown, just blissful, not knowing anything. And suddenly I was stopped by a young monk. He's also in his 20s. Then, he was wearing saffron, he's a brahmachari, and he is a white body Australian. So he showed Bhagavad Gita and then he stopped me. Said, why don't you take a Bhagavad Gita? I said, oh, Bhagavad Gita, I have maybe like 6 or 8 copies at home. My grandmother, she used to have so many Bhagavad Gitas. As a child, I saw that. Apart from that, I don't know anything. Then I told him very proudly, Bhagavad Gita is ours. It's ours. I'm surprised you have it in your hand and you're giving it to me. Then he just challenged me. He said, really? If it's yours, why don't you tell me what is Bhagavad Gita? I don't want to know what is inside. Just the line, what is Bhagavad Gita? Have you thought about it? Exactly. So here Gautam gave an answer. I thought it's a religious book. That's exactly how I replied to that person. Then he laughed and he had a smirk on his face and he told, sir, it simply means song of God. So I was like, so taken aback, embarrassed. I said, "Oh my God, I don't even know the title." So, what to speak of what is inside the Bhagavad Gita? Obviously, I don't know what is inside the Bhagavad Gita. I think most of us find ourselves in this situation, don't we? You all agree? But yet, we are very proud, right? To say that Krishna, Rama, Shiva, all these personalities belong to us, and yet we have no clue. That's a sad reality. But like Prabhupada used to say, those are born in India itself. It's a punya bhumi. So we are all Krishna conscious, God conscious at several layers, at several levels. It's just that it's covered up with our material desires and whatever. It's not awakened in a proper way. So all it takes is a little bit help, a little scratching of the surface, and immediately we can all again regain our consciousness. That's not difficult. But as we explore the concepts, we will find a lot of revolutionary concepts because just like there was one dance teacher. So she was enrolling all the people into the dance class. And she said, it's just 100 rupees. You can join. So after so many people joined, then she asked, do you anybody know dance? They said, no. And some people said, yes, we know some. Oh, then for you, the fee is 200. They said, why is that? Because I have to make you unlearn and then make you learn. So that's why it's extra. So our position also is like that. So we all know some concepts, but all vague concepts and all messed up concepts. We don't know what is real, what is wrong. Nowadays, our learning is completely digital. Somebody sends something in WhatsApp, a video. We think that is real. We go and actually go to the extent of even doing whatever they're saying in the video. That becomes the norm of learning today. Unfortunately, that's not how it is. There are two systems of learning actually. One is called the ascending process, one is called the descending process. 90, maybe 99, I should say comfortably. 99% of this world, we all learn through the descending process. That means somebody tells and we listen and we learn. That's all simple, right? But there is 1% of people, they don't do that. They say, no, 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 I'll not accept whatever you say. I will find out and then I will come to a conclusion if it is right or wrong. That is another method. Like, for example, just to give this, what is ascending, descending, an example. How do we all know who is our father and mother? Our father especially. Because when someone tells that he's... That someone is, the answer is somebody tells us, this is your father. And that somebody is mother, because she is the authority in the subject. So in this ascending method of learning subject, the first qualification is authority, to validate the authority from where you are learning. That is the first criteria to learn. Now, scientists might say, oh, this is very, blind faith. They might say like that. This is blind faith. But what is the other way then? Other way is scientific method. You can conduct an experiment, start with an hypothesis. The hypothesis, I'm X years old, so my father should be maybe 30 years old, or given a bracket of 25 to 35 years old. I'll collect all the men who are in that bracket and conduct one experiment, maybe see, match the DNA. And if it fails, then I will conduct a second hypothesis. You can do that. And finally, you will learn who your father is. Maybe you will be another 30 years old, or maybe 50, or maybe you'll never find one. So that is a genuine way of learning. That is one way of learning. And the scientists today have chosen, for whatever reasons, they are saying This is the way we want to find out who is God. We don't want to hear from you. You guys are giving a conclusion. God said so, and there is a creation. But no, we thought there is a Big Bang. So from Big Bang, everything came. So we don't really know when the Big Bang happened. But now they are saying with the Hubble telescope, we can actually see beyond the Big Bang. Well, we don't know. That also is ascending. Whatever they are saying, we are listening. And we are accepting that as truth. They are saying there is atom. We have not seen. None of us have seen. But we accept it. But for the scientists, that's 1% of population. They might say, oh, now it's not atom. There are called as quarks. Some quarks, they say. Like that, they come up with different philosophy. And then every time it keeps changing. It keeps changing. So we are not following that method. The Vedic method of learning is first we establish the authority, and by hearing, simply by hearing, you get the knowledge. This is the first method. And the same of all the people who heard the Bhagavad Gita, who is the best student? Exactly, Arjuna. Not a big this thing it is. So Arjuna's qualification, what is Arjuna's qualification? One of the qualifications he has is called Gudakesha. Gudakesha means he conquered even sleep. He does not need to sleep. He's so obsessed into learning. Actually, when our son was very young, he was obsessed into learning coding and doing all the blender and all that. He was learning. So hours together, like 9 hours, 10 hours, he would sit all through the night. Also, he can sit and do that computer learning. But here is Arjuna. That's the kind of learning capacity he has. He has conquered sleep just to master archery. So you can imagine the level of concentration he has. Of course, so many other credits, good credits are there for Arjuna. How he is a good student. Is best. Is actually the topper in everything. That is Arjuna. And that Arjuna, he is telling how he accepted the Bhagavad Gita. So he set a standard, basically. So that is a mindset. So if we have the same mindset to understand Bhagavad Gita, that will become easier for us. Maybe we are not toppers, but at least we will understand the same way to understand like Arjuna. What he says, Ahustvam Rushaya Sarve. Whatever you have spoken, Krishna, this is exactly what the great sages have spoken before. And etad rutam manye, whatever you have said, I will accept it 100% that as truth. I will not have any question marks. I have no doubts about it. Why? Because you're the Supreme Lord. How do I know that? You yourself are telling me that you are the Supreme Lord. Other sages have confirmed that the same, that is about you. It's not because we both are friends. Now you say you're great. So I will agree because you're my friend. I'll tell anything you say. Not on that basis. On the basis, there are other great sages who are established acharyas who also have confirmed that you are the Supreme Lord, and you yourself are confirming as a Supreme Lord. And that is why I'm accepting you as a Supreme Lord and whatever you are saying as the truth. That is the first mindset. So we also should accept it as it is. So you might be wondering, we are always talking about Bhagavad Gita as it is. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West, there were a lot of people who asked, why as it is Bhagavad Gita? Because Prabhupada said very simple way, there's so many people, there's so many authors, so many philosophers who have commented and have written about Bhagavad Gita, but none of them have given what actually Krishna spoke, the real version. They put their own ideology and they passed it off as Bhagavad Gita. For example, the most famous personality, Gandhi. What did he say? The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, Ahimsa. Where did he get that? After hearing Bhagavad Gita, what did Arjuna do? Himsa. He killed everybody. There is no ahimsa there. He was so confused. He said, we are not scared of separating the country from Hindu, Muslims like that. Why? Because we are fearless. Even if death comes, we are fearless. But he is so confused in the concept. Krishna talks about becoming fearless. Abhaya Charanara Vidya. How do you become fearless? By accepting the lotus feet of Krishna. And you take shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, you become Abhaya Charan. Because you have taken Abhay Charan's feet. But Gandhi missed that point in all his commentary. Like that, so many people have written different ways. So there are some things which Sanskrit also grammar has so many rules. For example, when I say something, it's a direct meaning. You have to take the direct meaning as it is. But there are sometimes there are indirect meanings. Also, you understand it as a direct meaning. For example, I'll tell a simple way. दिमाग मत खराब दिमाग खराब मत करो. Don't eat my head. What does that mean? It's actually an indirect sentence. You don't literally go and eat somebody's head. But what is the second meaning? We all know the second meaning. Bas karo yaar. That is the second. But we take that second meaning as a first meaning. Because the first, whatever is said, is very obvious. It is not that. So these are some grammar rules. So the first rule cannot be avoided, which Krishna says in a direct language. So that is what Prabhupada has expertly presented the Bhagavad Gita with a natural meaning as it is. But there are some people who will confuse this concept. When Krishna says, I am the Supreme Lord, I am the Supreme Person, he says, oh, you cannot be a person because God cannot be a person. We are a person. Person means we have body pains, we die, we have disease, all these things. So how can God have? That means God cannot be person. So when Krishna is saying, Krishna means, oh, black. So maybe Krishna is black. Oh, black means nothing. Oh, nothing means from nothing, everything has come. So that is the origin. There are people who have written commentaries like that. But that's not how we are going to understand. Because the first meaning, again, the first meaning is what we are going to take it. Now, there will be other concepts also, which we will be, as through the journey, we will be learning. 5 main concepts we'll be learning. One is God. Obviously, we learn about God. God, generally, people have a very, very rudimentary or basic idea only. When people say, oh, God is there. Most people who agree there is God, they will say God is there. But what is God? If you go one more step, bus, that's a dead end. They don't know anything more than that. God is God. Don't ask more questions. Now Shiva is God. Is Vishnu God? Is Brahma God? Then it becomes more controversial, right? It becomes maybe it's Ganesha, maybe it is somebody else, maybe it's Mata. How can you say? So now it becomes regional. Now it becomes, just like fan club. I like Rajnikant, you like Amitabh Bachchan, somebody like that. So I worship Mata. So don't say anything more than that. Mata is great. So like this, these concepts, what I'm talking about, we all know something. That something is so confusing. We don't know really. So one concept we'll get very, very clear is about God. Through the entire Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand in depth what is God, how many ways God is operating, and how many ways He's distributed Himself, His multi-energies, His multi-universes, His multi-creation, His multi-manifestations. All that you will understand through this entire script. That's number 1 point. And number 2, second major concept that you will be learning is about us, Jiva. How we are similar to God. But In so many ways, we are not God. The very first thing is we don't know nothing. That's our first qualification right now. God is never in that position. If we are God, then we will never be in this suffering condition to begin with. All the time, or what we are seeking out, how to solve our problem and become happy. That is our constant struggle for happiness. So God is not in that position. So we are never God, but definitely there are some things which are similar to God. Just like when you see your children, there are so many things you can see and tell, oh, he's my child. And the child can see, oh, they are my parents. There's some qualities, you look alike, or there's so many things. Your mannerism is same, your body color is, skin color is same, something is same, whatever. Just like that, there are some things which are similar to God. That we will learn. And third thing, we will learn about what is Prakriti. Prakriti means the nature where we are living. Now, just like a chemist, when we go to high school, you learn about chemistry. What is chemistry? I mean, it's 108 elements are there. We all learned that. Of course, now it's not 108. I think it's 112 or something, whatever. So those elements we learn. Why? Because if you learn those things, then you can know the interactions between these chemicals, and then you can derive some end product, whatever you want. So the same way, Krishna is going to teach us these concepts of Prakriti, and he divides them, subdivides and categorizes in different ways. Sometimes he categorizes them as 8, sometimes he tells them as 24, sometimes he tells us 5, sometimes he tells us 3, whatever. So there are gross elements, there are subtle elements, there are Prakriti, there is the 3 modes of material nature, all these things and their different various combinations and interactions, and how we as Jiva have become entrapped into this Prakriti. That we will learn very nicely. That's the third concept. And then there is Kala. Kala means time. And time is, it's just like a time capsule. Just like any manufacturing happens, nowadays the manufacturer, what he does, this product, sir, it is warranties for 5 years. That means exactly after the warranty is over, the product will stop working. Right? So Krishna is also like that. One of the energies of Krishna is time. So he controls Prakriti through time capsule. So what he does, this is the time. Within this time, this product will work. When the time is finished, the product will collapse. So this is the cycle of creation and annihilation. And this is at a macro level and a micro level. At both levels, he has put this software. And that is time. And that time controls every single one of us. As soon as you're born, your time is fixed. So as soon as your time expired, boom, that bubble is finished. So that's how time is another concept you will learn in Bhagavad Gita. And of course, the fifth interesting concept is karma. This karma also, we live in a causal world. This is called a causal ocean, Karana Samudra. Just like here at the back of my wallpaper, you see, there is Mahavishnu. He is lying in this Karana Samudra. Everything that happens in this world, there is a cause and an effect. So today you all are here. The effect, there is some other cause. We sent one flyer, that was a cause, and you all are here, that's an effect. So if you go on analyzing, entire events are dictated and presented here by cause and effect. That is the fifth topic, karma. You will also learn about karma. Now, out of all the 5 things, karma is not eternal. All other 4 are eternal. Eternal. So you learn that concept too. What is eternal and what is not eternal, temporary. So what is karma is again divided into several deep layers. There are 6 varieties of karma. There is prarabdha karma, there is akuti karma. So there's so many varieties. What you are seeing, experiencing is one karma, like that. So we'll get into that a little later. So we all might be thinking, is this Bhagavad Gita a religious book? Really? Is it a religious book? Religion means what? We all think we are Hindus, right? But real religion means it should define your eternal constitutional position, which never changes. If it changes, then it is not religion. So we are not into faith. We are not trying to develop a Hindu faith. We are not trying to do that. What we are trying to understand in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will explain very clearly how to understand this jiva caught up in this prakriti are 2 different things. And your struggle, entire struggle, is because of your entrapment into this prakriti. That is your main problem. So Krishna is actually trying to help us get released from this. This is the main tool which Krishna is providing. How many of us drive cars? All of us, right? How many of us have tried to reach to the dashboard and saw there is one manual there, user manual? How many times have you touched it?
Once or twice.
Once or twice, hardly, maybe, never. So most people never. So that's our proposition too. When Krishna made this creation, he also sent a user manual. That is Bhagavad Gita. Just like we are living blindly, like that we are living without touching this user manual. And this user manual, if you touch it and read it, you'll become a very good driver. Just like that, how you become a good driver with a car, you'll become a very good driver with this body, which is also a vehicle. Yantra rudhani mayaya. This is yantra. This body is a yantra, vehicle. For what is vehicle used for? To reach a destination, to make you reach a destination. Now, suppose you buy a beautiful car and then you drive the car and everybody is sitting in the car. Where are you going? I don't know where I'm going. It's just a nice car. Let's go on a ride. But we don't have a destination. Then you are really, really underutilizing your vehicle. That's very bad use of your car. So, which is exactly what we are trying to do. We don't know what we want. Somebody sold us one dream. They said, American dream, you come here, you'll have a good life. So we all tried our, hard work we did. Somehow we landed here. And then after coming here, what happened? We got a good job. Then we got a house. We got a car. Then afterwards, what? We don't know. That's all is a dream sold to us. After that, we don't know what is a dream. So next, we are just driving that car without any direction. That's actually what we are trying to do. And that will change. I'm sure that will change. So as we explore this topic more, we will understand we are not pursuing religion in that fashion, like faith. Faith means you can change it. Today, Hindu, you can become somebody else will change your faith. You come somewhere, you like Christianity, something, you will change your faith to Christian. Christian can become Muslim, Muslim can become. So all that can change. But one thing cannot change is your constitutional position. What is that constitutional position? Just like when there is fire. What is along with the fire? Always with fire, there are 2 things. Anybody knows?
Heat.
Heat and light. Heat and light. They have to be accompanied with fire. Can you remove that? You cannot. The same way, You have a constitutional position. And what is that constitutional position is what you have to understand, what Krishna is going to tell you. That constitutional position is Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. You are an eternal servant of Krishna. That's your original position. But right now, we don't understand that. Why? Because it is contaminated with Prakriti. So what happened after contamination? Now that constitutional position changed into, it is manifested into two ways. One is, it looks like we are the supreme controller. We are the controller and we are the enjoyer. It manifests in these two ways. This is called contaminated consciousness. So all our trouble begins from here. These two things. I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. So Krishna is going to advise and equip us with different tools how you can repair this. You know, we all know what is gold plating, how gold plating is done. Have you seen it? Some would have seen, maybe in videos or sometimes in your chemistry, whatever. So there is a base plate. So base plate, you have to put in a certain solution. And then what happens, first of all, it has to be clean. Otherwise, gold will not sit on it. So even if you clean with soap and all that, it doesn't really clean. So then they have a solution. They put inside that, like HCl solution. And that solution actually strips away even very, very hard contaminant. You cannot see those dirt, rust, and all those things which are there on the base plate. You cannot see, you cannot even scrub it out. You cannot. But with this electroplating, first it is cleaned with the that HCl compound will actually clean it, strip it away. And then gold bar will be put, and then that gold will come and sit on your base plate. That's how it becomes gold plated. So this is the concept which Krishna is going to teach. There are 6 whatever types of yoga systems which Krishna will tell you. All that is going to strip away your rust and your contamination, material consciousness, that I am this enjoyer, I am this controller. These concepts Krishna will try to strip it away from you before he puts the final gold on top of you. And those other yoga systems you will also learn, starting with Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, or sometimes people call it as Raja Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. And then finally, you'll get the gold plating, which is the Bhakti Yoga. You become really gold. You'll be shining gold. That concept you will learn. So, do we have more time? Yeah, I think we. Now, this mind is very tricky. We actually, the way we are constructed, this body, this is just a vehicle, just like we discussed. It's a vehicle, but it comes with 2 parts. Now everybody is into the computer world, so we understand hardware, software. So the hardware is what you can touch and feel. So our body is made of 5 ingredients: earth, water, fire, air, ether. You can touch, feel everything. Now there is a software, which is mind. Sometimes people call it brain, sometimes call it mind, sometimes intelligence. For convenience sake, you can call it mind. But if you analyze a little bit more, it's subdivided into 3 parts: the mind, intelligence, and ego. And all 3 have their own functionalities. Okay? So the mind is basically And right now I'm just categorizing it as one and talking. This mind is what seems like very powerful. It's really powerful because we don't know how to tame it. That is why it's very powerful. But actually, it's very dumb. Literally, it's very dumb. So Krishna gives a very powerful tool how to tame your mind. And there are other techniques which are recommended for other ages. But in Kali Yuga, especially Krishna talks about that taming technique of this mind, which is very simple, just like a very powerful cobra is there. You and I don't know how to tame a cobra if it comes into the room. But there are some people who know what is called as that nadaswaram. Nadaswaram, if they do, they can control the mind. Just like that. The cobra will not do anything. It'll just like a hypnotized. The same way, in this world, the real hypnotism, Lord Krishna himself appeared 500 years back as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he brought this one beautiful technique. And that technique, he actually invested himself into this sound vibration, into his holy name. His name is not different from himself. And this is a concept which is very revolutionary. Not many people can understand how it can be possible. Because if you measure the sound, any sound is sound, right? But this particular sound, even also if you observe it, it has certain frequency, vibration, and modulation, all that is there. But this particular sound vibration is different. Just like how that snake can be subdued, this holy names of Krishna, Rama, Mukunda, Narahari, Vasudeva, whatever, all the names of Krishna, he invested himself into his names. So when you chant the names of Krishna, your mind will be so subdued and cleansed, just like the electroplating stripping of all the rust, like that, it will strip off all its designations. Designations means those are the contaminations we are talking about. Like as soon as we are born, what we say, oh, so small, so sweet, so cute, my baby, like that will tell. We are only putting that first software. He is very cute, he is very sweet. So the baby grows up thinking, I am very cute, I am very sweet. So grows up little bigger, I'm a boy. That's another software, one layer of designation. That's a contamination. Another layer, I am very intelligent. I know math. I know how to solve calculus. I am engineer. I am a doctor. Another designation. Another designation. Another designation. I'm Indian. I'm a Hindu. Another designation. Another designation. I'm rich. Another designation. I'm a manager. I'm another designation. Like that, we keep on accumulating designation after designation after designation. These have to be undone, stripped away. So that's the process. So that's the process which Krishna is actually going to introduce chapter by chapter by chapter. And then how is it that like every time the biggest thing, somebody tells something which we don't like, which is our two original constitutional position. Don't forget. What is that? I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. If a slightest disturbance to this happens, my control is losing. Then what happens? Fight, conflict. All marriages today, we all are familiar now. Most marriages are ending up in divorce. Why? Because who are you to tell me? I am the controller. What the hell? You are the controller. I am the controller. So, conflict. It happens at a small micro level, at our family level. Then it happens at a street level. Then it happens at a city level. Then it happens at a country level. Then who is the biggest country? You don't accept me, I'll put a bomb on you. Finished. So we call this as advancement. In Stone Age, people would throw stones from hilltops Now we throw bombs from the drones. We are very advanced, but our consciousness is exactly the same. So the dogs are doing the same thing, which is you don't enter my street. So that is the same consciousness. There is no difference. So our consciousness and the animal consciousness is actually not very different. Why? Because what are we pursuing whole day? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Right? Only four things. But we are doing it in a very elaborate way. We want to travel around the world and see, explore the world. And what we will find? How people will eat in a different way, a different dish. How they will sleep in a different way on a separate, different bed. But all the activity, no matter wherever you go, all over the globe, continent, or even to Indraloka, or even Chandraloka, or even to Brahmaloka, only four things are going on. Maybe we have Las Vegas casinos for entertainment. Indra has Ramba, Urvasi, and Tilottama, and those entertainment for him. But it's exactly the same thing. Four things only are going on: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maitunam cha. These four things only. All these to do for these four things, you don't need such a sophisticated body. Animals can do much better. Some animals are greater capacity than us. You cannot even compete. Pigs can produce, I think, 2 dozen or 3 dozen in 6 months. You cannot compete. So like that, if we do not come to the point of Brahma Jignasa, who am I? Why am I suffering in this world? Am I really suffering in this world? If you don't even ask this basic question, your journey never started. That means your car engine also didn't start ignition. You kept it in your driveway and nothing is happening. So this is what Krishna is going to start our ignition in the second chapter. Until second chapter, he won't talk because he's just listening. What is Arjuna's problem? Why is he crying? What is he trying to tell? So he's setting the scene. Basically, Arjuna is not like us, one of us. But Krishna with his illusion, with his Prakriti, because Prakriti also is working under his direction. So this Prakriti is working under Krishna's direction. He can direct. Now switch on and off. For Arjuna, put it on. Put that Maya on. So that Maya was on for 1 minute. So he went into Maya. Then when he went into Maya, he started talking just like us. What do we talk? Oh, I'm going to lose my money. I don't have place to stay. I will lose everything. How can I kill my parents? I don't want to hurt them. They are very, very nice. I love them. This is the language we talk. That's the language Arjuna started talking. He said, I cannot. Then what happens? When you lose something, all the things that you have, you lose. What happens? You get fear, you get, trembling. All those symptoms also Arjuna exhibits. Then he leaves his Gandiva also. So first chapter, we will dwell into that. And then how Arjuna will give his different reasons and why he should not fight. And again, Krishna counter argues why he should fight. Like that. So I'll stop here. Until now, anybody has any questions or anything, you can ask. I'll try to answer in whatever little manner I can understand. If you want to type, or you can unmute and ask your question.
I would like to ask on behalf of everyone that what would you like to tell something about, some people think that all this is mythology. Can you talk about that? People, they think that this is not true. Whatever you're talking, okay, somebody is saying. Can you give little insight on that for the
Sure.
benefit
So
of
it's
everyone?
actually a very valid thing. That's a big propaganda done by a lot of historians who wrote history.
What is the question?
The question is, most people think this Bhagavad Gita itself and the Vedic scriptures itself is mythology. It's not even valid. It's not even valid. Actually, it's very, very, very wonderful question. I'll tell you why. Because if anything is written by man, it has to be subjected by four things. Because we all, to err is human. So whatever you do, there will be an element of small error. Just like in math, we all know, right? There is something called as, you start your problem, but in the beginning of the problem, you make one mistake and you try to do all the steps. The last step also will have the problem. Why? Because original one step, you made one mistake, right? So your result, end result will have a mistake because you started with a mistake. So this is something mundane people, any person who does any work in this world, to err is human. There will be an error. That is first. Second, we all have limited senses. You know what is limited senses mean? Everything has a limit. Like for example, we can see light. We are thinking there is only this visible light. But beyond the visible light, there is again infra and ultra light also is there, but you cannot see it. So your eyes have limitation, your ears have limitation, your nose has limitation, your senses have limitation. Everything has limitation. Just like if I put you in a room and lock you up, you can never go outside the room. You have everything here to live. So whatever you can see outside world is through the windows. Now you lived like that for 50 years, let's say. Now somebody will ask you, what is your opinion about America? Can you describe America? Then all you will describe is, oh, there is America means that 4 streets lanes are there. So 5 houses are there and something, some garden is there. That's all. Whatever you can see from here, because assumption is you also don't have access to internet and removed all your gadgets. So what you can see is what you can understand. That's all. You cannot tell more than that. So whatever you can tell is through your limited senses only. You cannot tell more than that. So that's a limitation. And the third is you're always under illusion. We don't know what is reality. So that's another limitation. So when you have all these limitations, and if you write anything, it will be subjected to error. But here, Krishna is speaking about Bhagavad Gita. It's a timeless wisdom. No matter wherever you take, whichever time you take, this subject matter remains consistent. It's consistent. Now imagine there are hundreds of people, thousands of Americans who have learned Bhagavad Gita, Europeans have learned, Australians have learned. Now, who have learned under the instruction of Prabhupada, if you ask them all these concepts, they will tell exactly the same way. Just like how we all learned math from different teachers. But we all have same understanding. That's how it should be. So the same way, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is going to be presented. If it is not real, if it is not true, just like an experiment, at any point of time, if you conduct an experiment, the end result should be the same. So such type of truth is actually given in the Bhagavad Gita. You put yourself through this process. This is not a manual that you will recite. Like for example, doctor gives you a prescription. Okay, he tells you, you have this problem, you take this medicine, you take this prescription like this, 1 week course it is, and you will be fine. But instead what you do, you take the prescription, you chant it. Every day, 7 days you chant. This medicine 3 times, this medicine 3 times, this medicine 3 times. I chanted for 7 days. Go back to the doctor. Are, I did not get cured of the problem. What happened? Sir, you didn't take the medicine, you only chanted. So people are fond of chanting Bhagavad Gita, but they forget when you chant, Krishna is actually telling you something to do, sir. There is some instruction inside that. Please do. So this Bhagavad Gita is a process that we all have to apply. If you don't apply the process, that medicine is not going to work for you. So that is, the proof is in the pudding. And if you do it, you will get the same result again and again and again. And if it's man-made, it is going to fail and it will not work and it will expire after some time. Just like you write one software, after 6 months, another guy will put one bug or some create something else. If you don't upgrade your software, that software will not work. Bhagavad Gita doesn't need any upgradation. Thousands and thousands of years, it's been an eternal truth because it is apaurusheya. It is not written by a human. Krishna says, Vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. The Vedas, the entire Vedas, not just the Bhagavad Gita, is written by me. The only purpose of the Vedas is to understand me. The only purpose is to come to me. So there are three things that Bhagavad Gita will provide you. What is called Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, and Prayojana Gyan. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. These three things you will understand. Means your relation with God, the process in which you can go to God, and finally what happens when you go to Him. So this is definitely not a mythology as is propagated, and the proof is in applying the instructions. And this is the biggest flaw as a Hindu society, that we have never practiced. What we will normally see is, please teach this to my children. Sir, do you have classes for children? We want children to learn. What about you? No, I am mature. My life is over. Let children should have good samskar, good values. They should not smoke, drink, and go in bad ways. That's why I want to teach the children. And what did the child get the message? He's hearing all this. He's thinking, oh, so my dad is telling, if children learn, it is enough. And when I become a dad, I don't have to do anything. So that's the message you're giving. That means he can do the same thing to his children. So they also say the same thing. So that's how we learn. Oh, ma pillal bauntis parvaledu. They have to be good. Because right now they need good values. We all need. We all need. So that's the point. We all have gone very, and they say people who live very close to the railway station now, they miss the train because they take it for granted. I can go anytime, but they miss the train. That's our problem. So we also are in that situation. But thank God and thanks to all of you that you have taken the first step. You bought the platform ticket. So let's hope that we'll all go through this journey. And one thing, I'm not a good orator, not a good singer, not a good philosopher, nothing. All I'm speaking is repeating whatever Prabhupada has written in these books. And I'm trying to share this knowledge with all of you. And I'm a student in this journey. And the only thing, if I were to tell that I can share with all of you, is my convictions that if I stick to this, the process works. That conviction I have, whether I have a job, whether I don't have a job, whether I have a house, whether I don't have a house, whether I have a family or don't have a family, but I'm going to stick to this. That I know, and I'm going to share these values with all of you. And I hope we will all go through this journey and get the benefit of what Krishna is talking. And I have, of course, a selfish agenda that once you all become devotees, that I want your good wishes and blessings. So that is what I'm looking for. And if you all can bless me, one day I'll become a good devotee.
Thank you for the answer.
One question. Yeah, one more question, it seems.
Yeah, there is one question already in the group, and how life changed you and your perception, I think she's asking, Harita is asking. And there's one more question about death or something. Can you read the question?
Yeah, it's one typically has asked, does Gita talk about life after death?
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
Harita ji asked, since you joined
Yes.
Krishna consciousness,
Hare
how
Krishna.
has life changed and your perception towards life?
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's a very nice question. I would say that I was very fortunate in that sense that I did not leave any time when I first read Bhagavad Gita. You won't believe all the books that you are here and little more also. Chaitanya Charitamrita is not here. I took 1.5 years to complete every single thing. Every single book of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, I have read every single book. And
He read it.
one thing. I would
One
say
minute.
one
When
thing
you
that,
read it, tell that also. When you read it.
oh, that's 21 years, 33 years ago. I was 21 years old. And I was reading so much, I did not finish my last semester of my master's. I did not see any value in it because I found something which is more sublime, and I felt I'm going to enroll like a PhD program into these scriptures. And that's what I did. And I still continue to do it. And it's never enough. But one thing I would say, definitely a blessing, even though I'm not qualified, whatever I read then, 80 to 90% I remember. I've not forgotten anything. So that's a blessing. How my perceptions have changed? Definitely a lot of perceptions have changed. My concepts have changed, how we live in life, that people think what happens, most of the things is matter. This all matter. It is illusion. So when you become spiritual, you have to give up all this. That's one misconception people have. In fact, Arjuna expressed this misconception too in the first chapter. He thought, if I were to be a nice person, if I were to be a spiritual person, I should not be seen as a greedy person, selfish person, then I should not fight. Why am I fighting? To get the kingdom, right? So I don't want kingdom. So he wanted to say, if I'm a nice person, I should not have all these things. That's his idea. So people think like that. But Krishna is telling, wait. That's not how things work. There is matter. Just like everything, if you think it is for you, then that is a problem. Just like if I give you a simple example, anger is a good thing or a bad thing? When is it good? It's never good. It's always bad. That's what we all think, right? But how many of us chant Hanuman Chalisa and worship Hanuman? All of us. Why? He used anger. He used anger. He burnt Lanka. That's what Hanuman Chalisa is. Anger. But he knew how to use it for Krishna. Ravan, why was he killed?
He used it against Rama.
No, he kidnapped Sita. He kidnapped Sita. But we worship Hanuman. Why? Because he wanted to kidnap Sita. Same thing. One guy is called Ravan, a demon. Another guy is called devotee. Right? So a devotee is somebody who knows how to give everything to Krishna, how to work for Krishna. So when you know that art, there is nothing called as matter. There is nothing called as illusion. If you don't know this, then everything is Maya. Everything is illusion. So even marriage, even having children, making money is bad if you don't know how to offer everything to Krishna, then it is. So these are the revolutionary concepts. In fact, in Bhagavatam, you will hear, generally what you hear, a king is there. When he came to age, he took sannyas, he went to forest. In Bhagavatam, you'll find these sages who went to the forest, he gave up everything. Lord Brahma and Narada is coming and requesting him, please, can you become the king? You never hear that. Somebody coming from forest is a sadhu and become a king. That's very materialistic, right? No. Because they're devotees, they know how to serve everything for Krishna. Just like our body parts. They never think why I should work for the stomach. They never think like that. They always work for the stomach. Like that, a devotee, when his consciousness changes, whatever he does, he has only one agenda, Krishna karma. Krishna, this is your agenda, I am ready to do it. That is a change of consciousness. These concepts have sunk into me, I would say. Still, I have my own limitations. I have my own frailties. Still, I have a long journey to go. I know that also. So, to answer your question in a small, simple way, I said that.
What about life after death? That she wanted to know. You
Life
didn't
after
touch
death,
that point.
In a simple way, again, I'll not take too much time. I will tell you what scriptures say. How many times you slept in the night? Almost every day. Then when you wake up, what happens? Again, you're normal. You feel like that. It's another day. But according to scriptures, what happened is your subtle body left your gross body. Actually, this is death. Luckily, that subtle body is still available for you to enter inside. That is your rebirth. So this is one type of rebirth you experience every single day. Apart from this, Krishna talks about this concept. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhiras tatra namuhyati. Kaumaram yavanam jara. We are experiencing that change in this life itself. When you're born, medical science agrees that every 7 years, all the cells of your body, including your brain cells, are changed. Completely a different person. When you're born, where is that baby body? We don't have. Where is that boyhood body? We don't have. But definitely this body also you'll not keep. You'll have an old body later. And this is reincarnation. This is reincarnation in this life. Every 7 years, new body, new body, new body, new body. But those who know you around you, they think you are the same person. Why? It is just like in a movie, you know, that film roll is there. Every film roll, it is turned against the projector at a certain speed. So they look like one slide and the other slide is transitioning at a particular speed. It looks like a motion picture. But actually, every picture is a still picture. It's not a motion picture. So that still picture is seen at that point like that. So the same way the 7 years gradually our changing is same like the projected theater movie screen. That's all. But if you see individually, that 7 years is a different body. This is a different body. This is a different body. And tata dehantara prapti, deha antara prapti. When this deha, anta, finish, death, prapti, one more you will get how? Karmana daivanetrena. That means just like, imagine, we all can understand today, Google is there. In every computer, there is Google. And there is also something called as Google Analytics. You might not be using it. Some people who use it, they know what is Google Analytics. They calculate, you know, how much. Today they can tell you how many steps you walked also they will tell. That one app will tell you. Like that, it's a collection of all the data that you're doing, that's all. So Paramatma sitting in everybody's heart, perfect Google Analytics is doing. So tata dehantara prapti karmana daiva netrena. Did you choose your father and mother? Did you choose your body? Did you choose those looks? Did you choose those skin color? Did you choose the place in where you are born? Did you choose anything that you did not like? You cannot. Somebody else chose for you. Why? Because of those Google Analytics. Krishna did that software, and that software is working perfectly, and it is transferred to the next body. How? Just like the wind, as it is going, suppose it is going on top of a rose field. What kind of fragrance it will carry? Rose. Suppose it is going on top of a gutter. What smell it will take? Dirty smell. The same way, whatever you have accumulated, these are called vasanas. Vasana means taste. I like to wear tone jeans. I like to wear some dress. That is a vasana. It's acquired. You have acquired that vasana. All the collection of all these vasanas will give you one type of a body. You want to try too hard. You're very, very hard. You're trying to eat meat. Why, sir, you're trying so hard? I'll give you nice claws, nice teeth, sharp teeth, like a tiger. You can tear the meat very nicely and eat. The Prakriti will give you. Don't worry. Don't work so hard. I'll give you that. So Prakriti will give whatever you want. You have acquired. So there is reincarnation, and there is nothing, no fallacy about it.
You feel your answer is a question, Harita?
Well, there is.
To a certain point, I think.
Yes,
I hope so.
Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody
And-
tells, okay, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita. But why Prabhupada only? Many people question. Why? Okay, Gita, Bhagavad Gita is told by Krishna to Arjuna. We agree. But why always you are mentioning Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada? Why? Many people have got that also in mind. So I want you to tell properly that Prabhupada as a guru and how we have to take him also. Because many people are new also in the group.
Yes, just like I explained, why Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita. So just like I explained, there is as it is Bhagavad Gita, the without any interpretation, without skewing the meaning, what Krishna spoke, Prabhupada was able to transmit this message through his commentaries. There are three things when you, just like when you want to draw a straight line, it has to pass through 3 points, only then it can be a straight line. To confirm it's a straight line. So the 3 points, the 3 checks and balances is your present Acharya, he has to have certain qualification. One qualification is he has to be an expert and be able to write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. That is the first qualification of an Acharya. If he cannot write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, he is not qualified to be an Acharya. You can actually outright reject right there. That's number one. Second, whatever his presentation is, it cannot deviate from the previous acharyas who also followed this qualification. You cannot. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And you cannot contradict another Vedic scripture. If you are writing here one thing, it cannot contradict another Vedic scripture. That is also there. It's just like if a physics professor is there or a maths professor is there, he's going to teach you something, but he will, not obey Newton's law when he's teaching physics. Can you accept him? You cannot. Like that. So these are the 3 fundamental things that an Acharya has to follow. And obviously, the most important thing, he himself has to be a disciple or a devotee of Krishna, because that's the very essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So unless he matches all the qualifications, you cannot. And then finally, the end result. End result is, after I speak Bhagavad Gita, I don't put myself in the front. This is my Bhagavad Gita. You never hear that from anybody who's teaching Prabhupada's instructions. Prabhupada never said about himself. He talked only about Krishna. He put Krishna in the forefront. So you become a lover of Krishna. That should be the proof. You glorify, just like you become a premi. Premi, what a lover will do. You are in love with somebody. All the time you are glorifying your lover. Like that, you see all ISKCON devotees or anybody, we only glorify Krishna. That is a natural tendency. That's how you actually have to understand Bhagavad Gita. And of course, there are many, many more reasons. I can go on.
So I was asking anybody who is in YouTube who is watching if they have any questions, but I don't have yet. Anybody else has any questions you have in your mind about what we spoke right now, or about any thoughts you have?
Something,
Please feel
Harita
free to
Garu
ask.
said something bad. I don't know.
No, you.
Oh, anger is bad. Okay, okay. I just read that. I'm sorry. I read the
Okay.
comment only now.
So, Shruti, you have any question?
No, I don't have questions, but if people can write their name and location.
Yeah, well, your name and location, please.
But in
Everybody
WhatsApp, you want them to write here or in WhatsApp group?
Anywhere is fine. Here or in the
Okay.
WhatsApp also is fine. Yeah. Maybe WhatsApp
Okay.
is better.
Yeah, WhatsApp is better. If you can write, it will be really good. So we have a lot of our family over here. My sister is here, and my husband's uncle is here. My uncle's auntie is here.
Oh.
So welcome to all of you. We are very happy to have you in our group and in this class. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have anybody has any questions, please do ask. Otherwise, we will stop the class here.
So this is Shweta here, Hare Krishna. So very happy to join this class. What will be the structure? Like what is the most I can get out? Like how do I do? Is there any homework or anything that I can read offline or?
Yes, we will share the book. Actually, we have
I-
enough hard copies of the Bhagavad Gita. We would love to give them. If anybody can come to our place, you can pick it up in person. If you cannot come, not nearby, if you send us your address, we can mail one copy to you. And we can
If you
also
have
share
a-
an online link where if you
Yeah.
can just virtually also, you can read it without the
Okay.
physical copy. And
Okay.
what we will try to do after the end of every class, maybe I can compile some notes and share the notes with you. And for other chapters from chapter 1 to 18, I did compile some questions like a quiz. So what will it really helps you is to make sure whatever you read, unless you read, you cannot answer those questions. That's
Okay.
how it is designed. So it's just a nothing to make you feel bad, but it's just to make an impetus for you to read. That's all. That's the goal.
Totally. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's important, right? So when you want to understand,
Correct.
you understood the context of what you're reading. So
Yes. And I understand these concepts. What happens is just like if I have a lot of gadgets, like I have 10 gadgets, if they are supposed to work or not, how do I check? I have to
Right.
plug them and see if electricity is working only, then it will work. Then I know the gadget is working. Like that, all of us right now, we are like a copper wire. Just if it is thrown on the floor, copper wire has no meaning, right? But if I put that wire and connect it in the fuse, in the plug point, then that wire, copper wire, has a lot of meaning. It can flow electricity. So many things are happening through that simple, silly copper wire.
Yep.
Correct? The same way, this entire concepts of Bhagavad Gita, if you want to really grab and experience the animated version of it, the only way it really works is you have to plug that copper wire into that spiritual vibration. Otherwise, these concepts will be very vague.
Right.
They seem very vague, but very soon they'll all make sense unless you practice and connect yourself with the holy name of Krishna.
Right.
Otherwise, if you don't apply yourself to that. Otherwise, it will be a nice entertainment, or somebody spoke something, it felt good. Akkada varke, that's all. Beyond that, it doesn't really go deeper into your consciousness to cleanse your consciousness.
Right. How do you put it into practice in your day-to-day life?
So it starts with connecting ourselves with the holy names of Krishna.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about that. Why these holy names of Krishna? Why this specific holy name of Krishna? All these questions will come up, I know for sure. That's why I'm not starting that topic here, but this is the process. We'll talk about that.
Thank you.
Roja is asking something. I'm trying to understand. So her question is, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Maya is Jada. By using pure consciousness, it works. Then why that pure consciousness is under Maya?
Why is the pure consciousness under Maya?
I'll read again. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Maya is Jada. By using pure consciousness, it works. Then why that pure consciousness is under Maya? Actually, the thing is, I cannot understand the question.
No, I understood.
Understood?
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, you're intelligent.
So it's
I hope
basically
that
saying.
Okay, Prabhu is replying.
Okay.
Okay, you can reply. I think she is on YouTube.
Yeah. So we all are just like pure sparks, pure spiritual sparks. We have nothing to do with this Maya. We have nothing to do with this Prakriti. We have nothing to do with this Prakriti. But moment this Jiva comes in contact with Prakriti, then now I'll divide that mind concept into three parts I told about Ahankar. That Ahankara is an inverter. Moment that inverter means it makes positive to negative, whatever, opposite. So moment you come and touch with Ahankara, it gives you false identification. You start to think this is mine, this is me. This is the nature of contaminant, burda, just like dirt. When you touch dirt, what will happen? It will stick to you. And with another hand, you try to remove that. What happens? In that hand also burda will come. So you trying to remove burda with another hand, but burda is spreading now. You try to understand. So moment you are dealing with Prakriti, the more and more you deal with Prakriti, the more and more it will contaminate your consciousness by thinking, this is mine, this is mine. And that's how illusion encapsulates us completely. That's the nature. So we are called Jiva is called Tatashta Sakti. Means Jiva is very minute. Spiritual spark, she's asking is correct, good question. It has a choice to be under the influence of spiritual energy, or it also has the choice of being under the influence of material energy. Just like on the seashore, that sand is there. Sometimes it's underwater, sometimes it's outside the water. So when you choose to be under the spiritual energy, always chanting the holy names of Krishna, then that jada, matter, cannot affect you. But you choose not to see matter, not to be under the influence of spirit, then you will be under ignorance. That's how you will be in Maya. So what is the origin you're asking? Why in the first place we came here? How did we touch matter in the first place you're asking? That Prabhupada always said, suppose you are sinking in the ocean, somebody put a thread for you, rope for you to climb up. Then you'll ask him, I want to know how I am drowning here in the first place. Then that person from the top will say, idiot, first catch the rope, come up. After you come up, then you ask the question, it makes sense. Right now you're drowning. So don't worry how you are inside this jada right now. You are already here. Don't worry about it. How you came here, we'll talk later. How to get out of it, we'll talk. Then answer will come. This answer also will become clear to you when you chant more and more Hare Krishna. It is surprising, but it will answer your question.
So one point I want to clarify. You told that Bhagavad Gita, if you chant and chant and chant, then that is not of any use. So we are
No,
not
I did not say
saying
it's not of any use.
Yeah, that's what clarify. So it's not of no use because it is words of Krishna. So it is not wasted.
Yes.
Only you did not understand the meaning, that's all. But if you understand, like most of you in this class are interested to chant the mantras with the meaning, that is the goal, and that's why most of
Yes,
you are
even
here
we
in the
love to
class.
chant.
We also
love
love
to
to
chant
chant.
Bhagavad.
So
But we want to, when we chant, we want to understand. Every time we chant, every meaning we want to understand. Oh, this is what we are saying. That's why we are focusing on the meaning part first than on chanting. But we also love to chant.
Yeah, so the chanting does make a lot of difference, but we are talking about the Hare Krishna chanting, mantra chanting. So that mantra is Hare Krishna. You all know that. We'll just repeat it. We both can sing together. You also want to Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this mantra, when we chant, it whatever you are hearing, it will actually help you assimilate whatever you're hearing. And not only that, whatever you're hearing in the lecture, if you read the book, what will happen? You will be, when you chant and you read and you hear the lecture, all these three things together, then what will happen? It will change and you will understand through your heart. So Paramatma is in our heart and he is none other than, the Guru. So Prabhupada is our Guru and he is teaching us. So when we are reading Prabhupada's books, we are accepting him as our Guru. And when we connect with that Guru, then it will be very easy to understand all these concepts. These concepts are very difficult. So I would recommend that, by Krishna's mercy, we were actually not going to record the class, but Srini Garu over here, who is in our house right now, he is the one who suggested, I think you should record the class. And so then we thought, yes, it's true. So there will be a lot of devotees who will not be able to attend. And so then we thought of going live actually, because we don't, it will be there on YouTube and anybody can, view it. So anybody I would suggest that you hear the lecture one more time on YouTube, because there are a lot of people, for them, the concepts are very new. So if you will hear it, it will be easy for you to understand, because if it is new for you, of course, and if you don't need, it's okay, but I would suggest. So this is my suggestion. So since there is no other question, we can stop the class here. And if you have any questions, please put your questions. You can record your voice and you can leave in the group, or you can write your question and you can leave in the group, and we will try to, answer the questions. Mainly Prabhu will answer. He is the one who knows more, and so he will answer the questions. And in your next class, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any questions. So basically what happens is, this questions are like a wall which make us not go further. So if our questions are unanswered, we cannot move forward. So I would suggest that, you have any question, any doubt, any, thought in your mind, oh, why this, what this, so please ask.
Actually, that's another misconception. People think that you just follow, somebody says something, you just don't question. If you question your authorities, your elders, it's a bad thing. But you'll be surprised to know the entire 18 chapters Bhagavad Gita, question and answers. Arjuna is asking, Krishna is replying. And that's a sign of intelligence. So please ask.
Yes.
And out of 700 slokas, I think about 200 Arjuna was asking questions, and rest 500 plus Krishna was answering.
So very nice. So Any other question, or else we will stop the class here? Okay, yeah, please, sure, go ahead. You can unmute
Oh, yeah.
yourself and ask the
You
question.
can unmute. Yeah.
Hi, this is Hina, and I'm located out of Toronto right now. So I have a question. So when you say that the Bhagavad Gita was narrated as it is by Prabhupada,
Mhm.
so how was Vyasa, involved in the collection of the scriptures, and
Mhm.
how was he? How is he a part of it and then followed by Prabhupada?
Super
Very nice
question.
question, actually. Actually, many people don't ask this question, but I'm surprised you asked
In
this.
the first class you have asked this question. It's a great
Very
question.
nice.
Thank you.
See, because most people think that, Sanjaya is doing the commentary and relaying to Dhritarashtra. But the very person who gave this power to Sanjaya is actually Vyasadeva.
Okay.
So if Vyasa gave it, it's just like a TV broadcast.
Mhm.
So they were able to do it without a gadget through their, abilities. So Vyasa obviously is also listening.
Okay.
And there is also another type of an incarnation. It is called Shakti Avesh Avatar. We will study that also in different types of avatars. And when some particular jiva is empowered by the Supreme Lord for a particular task, he invests himself completely into that person. And that is called a Shakti Avesh Avatar. And Vyasadeva is also known as literary incarnation of Krishna. So only for the purpose of writing scriptures, Krishna empowered Vyasadeva for that reason. In fact, as soon as he was born out of Parashara Muni, his father, Vyasa was a fully grown-up 16-year-old boy
Okay.
when he came out of his mother's womb.
Okay.
And he just
So he
straight
was
walks
specially
out.
incarnated for this purpose.
Only for this purpose. Only for this purpose.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
And also there is another part to this, that he did not write it. He was reciting it, and he took the help of Ganesha, Lord Ganesh, to write it with his tusk. Ganesha was actually writing, and Vyasa was dictating.
So
Okay, that's interesting.
I would like to also here talk about the disciplic succession actually. So whatever Krishna wanted to speak through Vyasa, and whatever Vyasa wanted to speak, whatever he intend to talk, is told to the next in the disciplic succession. So that way, Prabhupada, it has come to Prabhupada in the
Yes.
disciplic succession. You can explain that little bit.
Yeah. So Krishna explains, just like how when a medicine bottle is there, how to take the medicine is generally written on the label itself. Right? Like that,
Yes.
how to take Bhagavad Gita is also written in the Bhagavad Gita. So one of the first qualification, there is a qualification of a guru and there's a qualification of a disciple. So here you are asking the qualification of a guru. So Krishna says, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So if you want to get this knowledge, you have to approach a guru. You better approach a guru. So he says, then what is that guru? How do you know he is coming in the right way? So Krishna also clarifies his qualification. Evam parampara praptam imam raja rishayo viduhu. It has to come through a parampara. That means if I ask somebody, you say, okay, you're talking very nicely. How did you get your knowledge? Then I told I got it from Prabhupada. Then you're asking, how did Prabhupada get? He got from his guru. Then how did his guru get? From his guru. How did he get? From his guru. Then if you go on analyzing, that original, that chain should not be broken anywhere. And that chain should connect to Krishna.
Okay.
Without a broken chain. Just like your current, how it is coming here, when you put a switch, the bulb is coming on. Your current is connected to your immediate pole. near your house. That pole is connected to the substation. That substation is connected to the power, big power generator. And that big power generator is connected to the big transformer. And all the transmission lines are completely connected. Nowhere connection is cut. Anywhere connection is cut, your bulb will not glow. So same way, Prabhupada also is coming through this parampara, Guru Parampara system.
Okay.
So
Thank you
there
for
are
answering my
4
question.
lines. There are 4 lines like that. And we can discuss more on all the 4 lines. But we are coming in one line, so we talk about only one line right now.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And
Thank you.
So I think we will stop the class today here. And the way we stop the class is we generally chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And we both, me and Prabhu, will chant, and y'all can just chant with keeping yourself mute. And then we will stop the class. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय।
जय
भगवद गीता पाठ की
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। असेंबल सारे भक्तों की जय। हरे कृष्णा, and we will meet next week. Okay?
Same
Hare
time.
Krishna then. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining in. Hare Krishna and bye to
Hare
all. Have a good